If I knew what to do, I'd do it. If I knew where to go, I'd get there someday. If I knew how to fly, I'd fly away. Forget about life for a while. But it never is that easy to just pick up and go. You do as you're told, 'cause life never works out that way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another beautiful episode of Bloodlines. Excuse me. I am sitting here in the illustrious Duff's Brooklyn before hours because God only knows it's 1:30 in the afternoon. And I'm sitting here with the magnificent Mina Caputo of Life of Agony.
Hi.
How you doing today, Mina?
Good, I'm great, thank you.
I'm
It's breakfast time.
Essentially.
But there's no coffee.
I
There's
know.
no cappuccino for us. There's no pie. There's no.
Yeah, I'm working on those
no
sponsors.
NutriBullet for me to juice.
I'm working on those sponsorships, I swear. Just gotta
Okay,
give you some
okay.
time.
I'll forgive you.
For now, she says. So, you and Life of Agony just came back from a quick tour in Europe with your
Quick tour. It was like, well, we've been touring all year, so it kind of like feels like so much longer than.
Well, you just finished
3
one
weeks
from
felt like
eternity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you started one in October, and then you just wrapped one up probably 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, well, we were touring in September with Power Flow.
Yeah, with
Right?
Billy.
Yeah, and
You took him out on some solo dates too.
yeah, for Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Said he just played a show a couple weeks ago in Brooklyn, and you both played 2 dates last week. You know, with Sick of It All, you played at the Paramount, and then you played at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park. And the roots of New York hardcore run deep. For those who aren't familiar with the foundation of New York hardcore, what did becoming a part of the scene mean to you when you began Life of Agony? And what are your thoughts on the new generation of New York hardcore?
Repeat the first question.
The first question was, what did becoming a part of this scene mean to you when you began Life of Agony? And what are your thoughts of the new generation of New York hardcore?
Well, you know, we became Life of Agony before we were like kind of initiated in some sort of scene in the streets of New York, you know what I mean? And we really never really set out to be a part of any scene, or didn't even really know a scene existed because we were all so young. I was 14 years old when I started with Life of Agony.
That was 93, around 93.
Well, no, Life of Agony started way before that.
Way before,
that was like
okay.
publicly
okay.
Life of Agony, Roadrunner days, blah blah blah.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
There was like, you know, a good 5-10 year run before anyone even had Life of Agony roll out of their mouth at that point. So what was the second question? Sorry.
What are your thoughts on the new generation of New York hardcore?
I don't know, because I don't really pay attention.
Okay. Clear enough.
To be honest. Yeah, I don't really pay attention. I'm still listening to Cro-Mag's Age of Quarrel. I'm still listening to Gorilla Biscuits Start Today, or, you know, Sick of It All's Blood, Sweat, No Tears, or Bad Brain shit, you know. But, you know, that's that kind of genre. But usually the music I'm usually involved in, most of my time that I spend listening to is like, you know, classic rock and roll or classical music, Chopin. From Chopin to John Coltrane, to Queen, to Zeppelin, to Bowie, to Prince, to Sinead O'Connor, to Roger Waters, to Floyd, to Sparkle Horse, you know, to Daniel Lanois. Yeah, there is no, you know, to Method Man, to the RZA, to you know, it goes on and on and on. Newer bands and newer music. If I do search for newer music, it's got nothing to do with music with a twist of rage. I can't even name one hardcore band these days.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm completely out of the loop, thank God.
I understand. Well, why do you feel that way? You know, just
what
saying
do you mean?
Thank God. I mean, you know, you're out of the loop and you're grateful for that.
Yeah, because I feel like I'd rather create than it's about the creating, not the creation. You know what I mean? It's about, I don't know. This is just who I am. You know, I'm reading more books than, and trying to find rare books that aren't published anymore, rather than, you know, searching out, you know, a new hardcore band. If something should be coming my way, someone will send me something, and then all is in divine order, and that band should have been on my lap to begin with. I don't really, if I do search for music, it's more ambient kind of stuff, it's more singer-songwriter stuff, it's more I don't know. And I stick to kind of like, I don't really stick to things I know, kind of, sort of, I don't know, it depends what genre.
I got you. But you're still all over that spectrum to the point where you listen to
I don't know.
everything.
Maybe it's unfair for me to say a little bit, but the real punk rock hardcore days, I don't know, are kind of like over, I think.
Wow. I mean, I just, you know, we're talking about records and, you know, talking about your genres and, you know, what you listen to. I know for a fact that I was listening to your latest record. I know that. I know.
What I refer to as hardcore, or this term or title or boxed thing we want to put around music, was a period in time that's no more. There's a time and place that existed, but yet it has evolved, but it's something completely, totally new, and I would be a liar if I said if I knew anything that was going on today, and that's why I'm being open and honest about it.
No, I understand that.
Like, you know, to me, honestly, the real original punk rockers, man, were like the Bad Brains, you know, the Clash, people like that, Iggy Pop, shit like that. I couldn't name one band, but anyway.
I understand. Well,
Let's move forward. The coffee's not in the system.
Again, I'm working on the sponsorship.
Where's the fucking coffee?
So your latest record, A Place Where There's No More Pain, is a year and a half in from its release date with Napalm Records. I know we love it. Obviously, everyone loves it. The fans love it. And, you know, this latest album comes 12 years after Broken Valley. Is there any material on this latest record that was perhaps written between Broken Valley and the new record?
No, this was all new stuff.
This was completely
fresh. This was all new inspiration, you know, new feelings, good and bad, penned down immediately after, I think, our 2014 kind of like, hey, let's try this again.
And that's when you guys came back. Thank God, because I can say that. Actually, funny story, my first concert when I moved back to New York City was Life of Agony at Highland Ballroom.
Oh, wow.
And I was terrified. I loved it, but I was absolutely terrified because I had no idea what was going on. And I learned, and it was absolutely worth it.
Hopefully you didn't learn the hard way with broken nose.
No.
Yeah,
Going to
so many people break noses and
then legs and stuff like
get
that.
hurt, and I hate that.
Yeah, the moshing was actually pretty decent as compared to what I've seen from
Long Island. Kind of kept it cool the other night.
Oh yeah,
the place was mobbed, you know.
Yeah, it was a madhouse. I saw a lot of videos.
That was calm for us, like you know, like. It was pretty calm. I was like,
this is tame, something strange.
He's wearing the dress. Really. But it was a great night. It was absolutely amazing. I think we didn't sell it out. It was like 1,600 sell out. I think there was like I think we did like 1,000 pre-sale and maybe 12, 13 walked up. It was great. But it was kind of a calm evening for a Life of Agony night, you know, and I'm sure for Sick of It All too. I know Lou and I were speaking, we were like, was that a rock and roll show we were just doing?
What kind of show we had?
What's
I'm not too
going
sure.
on?
I'm not too sure. Man, I wish I was there for that. I really
We'll
do.
play again.
I know, and I will be there in attendance, and I am grateful.
Maybe we'll do another Brooklyn date in 2019 or something, or
Was there a big difference between Europe and Long Island? Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a big difference from state to state, you know, city to city, country to country. You can compare each folk reacts very different, you know, like, you know, from Belgium to Poland to Austria to LA to New York City to Florida. It's all such very different reactions. People, you know, especially when people are slamming and getting rowdy, people express themselves in very different ways on the rowdy level. And you know, people are rougher than others. It's more of a unified, harmonious thing when you get to like countries like Belgium, and you know, people are pogoing in unison, hundreds of people. You'll never see that in I won't even get like a unison hand clap here in New York. You know what I mean? That's the people like hand clap. Get the fuck out of here. This is a bit. You know, it's
Could you
like,
honestly say it was like this kind of like that show that kind of was just like, oh shit, like I'm kind of scared, like as far as like crowd is concerned, like the enthusiasm.
has a crowd frightened me in that way? Like, oh my god, I'm afraid
not
for
like frightened, like just
afraid
like,
for the people
just
out
like,
there.
wow, this is a crazy show.
Yeah, Belgium all the time. That's why I mentioned Belgium, because in a sense, Belgium became like the new New York City, where dance and rage and expressing themselves and their passion for music and this kind of genre, whatever we are, you know, people call us metal, hardcore. Everyone likes to title us. We don't like to title ourselves, really. Everyone wants to put us in a box, even though we can't be. But for this kind of like hard-edged, kind of rock, rusty rock kind of shit, yeah, there's a lot of harmony in Europe when people are like slamming. People are looking more out for each other's well-being and making sure others don't get hurt. And here you can give and take. You know, we played the Whiskey last year, and man, it was just like we couldn't get through a song without just fight after fight.
Oof.
You know, and we haven't been to Cali in 15 years, man. So it was like,
Yeah, that wasn't quite
it's
the
like, come on,
welcome
man,
you wanted.
You know, like, can we just fucking play a rock show, man, and
Just
sing our
unite.
songs and get people's blood going? While we got to be like fighting every other fucking
True.
vocal, you
Yeah,
know?
we
like,
don't have to do that.
come
It
on,
gets
man.
unnecessary after a while.
It's not cool. You know, we had someone die at one of our shows, so when I see that, it's like, oh god, like the nerves.
And it rattles you.
As Alago would say, my gay nerves.
There's a lot.
You know Michael Alago?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
He's always like, my gay nerves.
Hi, Michael.
Michael.
So, we're back on track, and now
Sorry, I'm a scatter.
it's quite all right. So are
Especially
we?
when I
We
don't
just
come
keep.
to fucking
You just interview with no fucking coffee.
No coffee and cappuccino, I'm Italian.
That's it. The next time
Afraid to ask.
we're gonna get coffee. We have to
Yeah.
get coffee. That's it.
Guess
Oh
he
my
was
god.
nice enough for us to use this place anyway, so.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I'll be sure to get you a coffee after this. Promise. It's on camera. So, with the departure of Sal, how did Life at Agony come across your new drummer, Veronica Bellino? The album was already released, so what were you looking for in finding your new drummer and towards the future?
Well, Joey's known Veronica for many, many, many years. And she was one of the first names to come up. And we've had many drummers that immediately wanted the slot, of course. But I think Veronica was like an impeccable pick, not only for her talents, because not only could she kill on the drums, but she's a great vocalist. She's a great guitar player, bass player.
Her resume's through the roof. Like
She's got
she's
a
worked
great
with LL Cool
resume.
J. She's worked with DMC.
Yeah, she's still with DMC.
Yeah, and that.
Richie Sambora, Jeff
Yeah,
Beck.
She's got a fantastic resume.
Yeah.
So I mean,
So it works hand in hand. But what are we looking for? Peace and harmony. Fun.
she brings that to the table.
Fun.
And talent too. I
Talent.
mean, to boot. I mean, good lord.
And balance. And more femininity. More balance.
Could
more
you
balance.
care to elaborate on balance and balance?
Well,
within...
yeah, you got two guys. You got a half and half, and then you got a genetic
Gotcha. So
female. So like, there's like the Roy G. Biff going on in the band now, and there's major balance and unity and harmony, and it works very well. The balance of the guys, and then of course, because my soul and my whole biology is more feminine and so me and Veronica, we kind of naturally gravitate towards one another, and there's that kind of thing. So it's kind of like a good Voltron.
nice.
You remember
So nice.
Voltron?
Yeah, of course I do. It's a great Voltron
There's
transformation. Yep. Swords.
So like, yeah, we got peace, harmony, balance, love, compassion, fun. We're a full package now.
and on the personal level, that sounds fantastic, because I can only imagine what you guys go through when you're now that you're writing new music and you're getting ready for the new record.
Yeah, people have no fucking idea about this business, no idea about what it means to be in the band. Everyone thinks it's, a great, 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 great time all the time. It's fucking more difficult than the 9 to 5 is, and the below the law of average, the 9 to 5 people. It's almost like you guys get to fucking like unplug. We never unplug.
You always have to
When you're
stay
when you're
on.
working to creatively fulfill your passions, it's a very difficult lifestyle.
Of course.
A particular breed is, you need to be designed biologically, like, to be doing what we do. It's very difficult.
Of course. No, and I can't quite.
It's rewarding.
Wow, look at the Wayne with your sis. Jimmy, you're amazing.
Thank you, Jeremy.
I love you too. I gotta get him an escort.
The coffee has
Only at Duff's Brooklyn, baby.
Thank you. I love you. Jimmy, I love you so much. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's it. See?
I
Now,
want to share it with you.
oh.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, now that you have that harmonious balance in the band. How does it transfer performance-wise? That's always been my
Well,
curiosity.
If someone came to fucking Long Island show, they would have seen it and known it firsthand. They wouldn't have had to ask me that question.
Dun dun dun. And there's the egg on my face. I have to wait. I deserve that one. I do. That's what I get for missing out on last Friday's show.
Wherever you are now.
He's on the other side of the bar.
Coochie woochies, right? You can share with
No.
me if you want to.
Thank you. I'm honored to share coffee with you, Mina.
Just take it from the side that I took it from.
Nah.
I'm teasing.
So,
But yeah, I mean, I think it translates wonderfully. We're having such an amazing time. There's no push and pull, no power struggles anymore. Everyone's on the same page.
that's
We're
always
there
good news.
for the same reason. For fun, to heal ourselves, and to heal each and every individual that showed up and bought a ticket and has come for healing through the music, because that's why we do it, really.
Of course.
That's why I do it.
Of course. I mean, I gathered that.
I do that because, first and foremost, music to me, creating it, living it, expressing it, sharing it, it's like I'm a plant doctor in a sense. I'm on my own. It's a shamanistic thing. At least for me, it's a very sacred, religious, sensual thing. Music, writing it, sharing it, touching lives, clearing out clogged arteries for people.
Yeah. It does that.
It's like you gotta be a martyr.
You do
Get a
almost in a sense.
Christ.
I never really looked at it that way, but
I do, and that's because that's what I am in a sense, metaphorically speaking. Yeah, and I don't mind being the Christ.
I do mind.
I don't mind being blamed. I don't mind being poked fun at. I have a beautiful life. People can say what they want, how they want it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so confident and sure and secure within my own securities and insecurities that I can't be broken anymore.
No.
Cannot be broken ever again. So, yeah.
You bring that on stage with you.
Yeah.
And you bring that into your books when you write your songs.
Thank you.
And that's, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of people adore Life of Agony.
I mean, to the first song that I got into, I don't think you played at this show, was Lost at 22. And I was 22 years old when I heard that.
At the two shows we just did.
Oh, the one in 2011, the one I missed that they played. But see, I wasn't there.
Sit.
Oh, I'm good, thank you. I'm actually on a detox juice diet.
I'm juicing too. I always juice.
It's really good for you. It's amazing. You feel
Oh,
lighter.
I've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been doing yoga for over 20 years. I know all about a very clean, diet. I'm very aware of what I put. Normally, I wouldn't even do a cup like this, but I'm very grateful that Jimmy brought that for me. So I'm gonna treat myself to that toxic cup of
The fiend.
yeah.
So now that we talked about shows way back, we're going to take it further back. Where and when was your first show with Life of Agony? And who or what was it that made you want to do music?
Our first show, I believe, was in Keensburg, New Jersey. I believe it was 1988 or 1989, and we played with a band called Cryptic Cookies for Jesus. And the stage was a ping pong table, and it was like some improvised, really bad dive bar kind of. It looked like some really bad hole in the wall that you would make kind of coke in.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
You can make coke.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this much. I definitely was not making that show because I was 2 years old.
Yeah. So that was our first. And then what was the other question?
Who or what was it that made you want to do music?
There's a little thread in that story. So I've always loved music. I grew up with the classics, all the great rock and rollers, because of my dad and my Uncle Jeff. Big rock and roll, Zeppelin, Rod Stewart, Blondie. I grew up with all those vinyls, Queen. But so one of the first records that ever came into my life that really blew me away, I didn't even understand how vocals can even sound like this, was Queen, News of the World, and Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy. So these two albums, I used to look at Robert Plant and be like, I didn't know if it was a man, if it was a woman, even at that young age. And I was, even at that young age. I was already going through these kind of idiosyncrasies, mindfully and heartfully, and I guess that's why Plant resonated with me so much, and also too Freddie Mercury back then, because he was very flamboyant. I sensed that femininity even before I even knew what gender or sexuality was. Of course, I was way too young. But Queen, News of the World, Sheer Heart Attack. I remember hearing that song. Well, you're just 17, all you want to do is disappear. You know that song?
Yes.
It was a DNA.
And that was everything that started.
Got me dancing around.
I know, right?
So I was just like, what the fuck
What is this?
So that's when I got like possessed by the rock and roll angel or demon, whichever you want to call it. I used to look at Plant in those flowery shirts and just really, his femininity really was like probably at that very, very, very early, probably, besides Princess Leia, has awakened my own femininity, because I remember as a kid, one of my first dolls I ever asked my grandparents to get me was the Star Wars Princess Leia doll.
Oh, Carrie Fisher.
So the red flags were already up. But the family, because we were Italian and dense and very homophobic and transphobic and all this stuff growing up as a kid with my grandparents. Very old school, pre-war, post-war mentality. Get the shit kicked out of me if I came home with painted fingernails, please. If I untied my shoelaces, the kid got a fucking beating. It was like abuse city at my house. So forget about expressing myself. So story is that my uncle, I used to live in my uncle's room with him, my father's brother. My uncle's like, I'm going to buy Nanny and Grandpa a piano. If I buy them a piano, would you be interested in taking lessons? And what kind of piano lessons would you want?
Mm-hmm.
That's how music
Was introduced to you.
cracked my egg. Well, that's how the idea of playing music and create, because then I wanted to go to Juilliard. Then I got obsessed with people like Beethoven, Chopin, Nina Simone, Billie Holiday.
It snowballed.
Frank Sinatra,
Everything just kept going.
fucking all that shit.
Yeah, you had
Dizzy Gillespie, all these.
You had the amazing artists of your
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
so there was no excuse at that point whatsoever. You just had all the timeless classics were right at your fingertips then, and
Absolutely. And growing up listening to jazz and having a very natural inkling to loving the sounds of Miles Davis or Coltrane's, sax, or like Coltrane's like I can just put on Coltrane and just, there's a song called Blue and Green that's on Kinda Blue from Miles Davis's album that you gotta listen to. You leave it on repeat, I could have fucking sex for days with this motherfucker on. It's like, totally just like, it's like the sound of my soul. Blue and Green, check it out.
I will check that out. I will.
But that's the story of how music really just encapsulated my entire childhood. And then as soon as I started classical piano lessons, I kind of remember bagging up all my toys, getting rid of everything, and I felt like I've graduated from some kind of childish childhood I never had, because I grew up pulling needles out of my dad's arm. I grew up physically being abused. Part of my abuse was, you're not going to Juilliard. Stop practicing Beethoven, you fucking idiot, because it's not going to put food on the table, and get the fuck out there. And it was like I was forced into going to they took my Juilliard dream away and made me go to New York Technical School, and I was studying to be a fucking idiotic environmental control, air conditioning and plumbing and all this bullshit, and doing physics and algebra and all this garbage that bored me to fucking tears, man. And I just basically, at the same time I was going through this nonsense of wasting my time with an institution that was doing nothing for me, we were recording River Runs Red. So I was recording the record, going to school, not knowing what the fuck I'm gonna do with my life, all this stuff, and then I basically was like, I reached a breaking point where it was just like, you know what? I literally turned to punk rock, turned to the unknown, allowed the things that scared the shit out of me to be my God, and promised myself an eclectic, psychotic journey full of adventure that'll give me the wisest experiences as a human being to keep filling me up with what we refer to as wisdom.
You never looked back.
Never looked back. And here we are today. And I'm still playing classical, and I'm still loving piano, still listening to Coltrane, still loving fucking Freddie Mercury and Queen, still loving fucking Plant.
And no longer bored to tears with fucking physics or algebra.
No longer understand Nina Simone. I thank my grandparents for being the way they were, because through all that negativity and contrast, they've allowed me to be me. They've pushed me to break my own human limited binary barriers as a psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, musically, neurologically. I'm expanding and expanding and expanding, and consciousness just keeps that's what's happening on the planet. That's what we're seeing, politically, all the institutions, politically, religiously, the food, the drug companies. Everything is expanding. Everything is being destroyed. Everything is being exposed. Deep state. What's happening is things are expanding. Mother Earth's, the femininity, Gaia's soul is expanding. Our species is expanding neurologically,
Indeed.
Consciously, unconsciously, biologically, spiritually. And this is why so many things are being exposed, like a lot of sex trafficking, a lot of bad people in religion, a lot of fuck-ups in politics.
All the truth is starting to
all
finally
been out there.
unravel.
This is going on long before politics and Hollywood conglomerated and became, Def Jam and Seagrams, you know what I mean? So that's why
Nice
everything
choice.
is being exposed. And what's really going on is, you shouldn't view the world as being dark. What you really need to do is get away from that kind of viewpoint, because it's false and it's faulty. And it's a fear-based ideology. What you need to focus on is the light. And the light it's blinding. And that's why all the darkness is coming out, because the light is expanding. Mm-hmm. I think things are imperfect. Everything is in divine order right now. Everything.
It's been a long time coming. That's
Everything is working out for humanity. As crazy as that sounds, that duality, that yin and yang, those dark spots we have all over the planet is propelling humanity's growth and evolution. And this is what we need to focus on as a species, because that's what's happening. Consciousness is expanding. People think we just are these 3D physical beings that are just bouncing in 3D reality.
Yeah.
We're beyond the physical. Okay, we're beyond the physical. People need to get this
in their heads.
Get this in their fucking heads.
There's more to
in their
that.
hearts, that Tesla had it all mapped out, man, before he was fucking killed. Okay? We are energy, frequency, and vibration. We are 80, 90% water. What they mean by water is frequency, vibration, and energy. That's what we are. We see this because... we see this because... And we can feel this because light is vibrating at such intense speeds of light that creates the matter. We don't even know the origin of life. You know, we don't even know why we're alive. We can all guess and make funny anecdotes about why we should be here. And everyone has a different reality because there's 7 billion, 8 billion people on the planet with 8 billion different realities. So not one reality is the same, but we are all one energy, expressing ourselves through what I like to call myself as Mina. This male, female, both and neither energy is expressing itself through this body. This he, she, it energy is expressing itself through her physical and through your physical and through the plants and the bonsai tree I have on my table and the butterfly and the worm, the caterpillar that's turning into the butterfly and the male clownfish that's turning female clownfish. All this energy is just
flowing,
expanding, and people are either really comfortable with that expansion or they're you know, there's the dying souls and the souls that are just excruciating for growth. There's the haves and the have-nots, you know. There's people like
Alan Watts would kind of just think the same thing.
yeah, you can't get wet by the word water. Famous quote by Alan Watts.
Yeah.
One of my favorite fucking philosophers is Alan Watts. And thank you for bringing him up.
Marissa, you really should be over here. Like,
yeah, and you know, so like I definitely, my whole life is operated on systems and belief systems just like that. Like Rumi, like an Alan Watts, like a Terence McKenna, like a Graham Hancock. You know, I don't believe in gurus. I believe in plants. You know what I mean? Don't follow a guru. You know,
No,
believe in
okay.
plant medicine. Don't believe in the pharmaceutical world. You know, believe in
stuff
plant
made from the
medicine.
earth.
You know,
Yeah, the natural,
yeah.
of course.
So that's I think where Earth is headed, and all this deep state, all this dark stuff, all these priests. The Vatican isn't what we all thought it was. Everything we learned as a species, people better start busying themselves unlearning.
Yeah.
Because it's all one big fucking lie.
And now it's all
Especially
coming
this
out.
cup of coffee.
Especially this cup of coffee.
One big lie. But thank you, yeah. One of the quotes is, you can't get wet by the word water. I don't know why. It always stuck with me with Alan Watts. I hear it everywhere, too. It's pretty interesting. You know Terence McKenna? Do get into him. He was an ethnobotanist, but he was an advocate for plant medicine, mostly psilocybin, Stratoforus cubensis, which was the magic mushroom, and ayahuasca and DMT and all the ingredients we make in our pineal gland that our institutions are working really hard at destroying.
Makes
As
sense.
you know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So,
let's not scare your audience.
no, not at
Because
all.
I'm sure I scared them enough.
Nah, that's quite all right. You didn't scare me. I'm still here. We're still here. Exactly. Yeah, for real. So, you know, getting back to what you said prior in the interview, you were you listened to the old school hardcore music. You listen to, you know, the Gorilla Biscuits. You listen to Sick of It All. Thrash metal has their own big four, which of course features the likes of Anthrax, Megadeth, Slayer, and Metallica.
I was going to say, what the fuck is thrash metal? Okay, now I know.
What I want to know, what we want to know, is what are your big four bands of hardcore music? And would you like to see this type of tour come to fruition?
My big four, like Bad Brains, the original Cro-Mags lineup, but that'll never happen because the ego is just vibrating too much in that situation, I guess. The Bad Brains, Cro-Mags, which will never happen.
You have two more choices then, because the Cro-Mags, it's not gonna happen, unfortunately. That's a good question, huh?
I would, I'd want to say Quicksand, but to me, Quicksand is not hardcore. People want to mislabel shit, like they're a lot more progressive, hardcore. Like, for example, Walter is all over the Gorilla Biscuits Start Today album. That is a perfect hardcore record to me. That is the definition of the hardcore sound, that album. To me, Cro-Mags Age of Quarrel is kind of even beyond that hardcore thing. Mm-hmm. It's more progressive in a sense. It's more... I don't know. The Bad Brains and the Bad Brains and the Bad Brains and the Bad Brains.
And that's all four of them.
That's the big four.
They're gonna play 6.5 hours.
Bad Brains, yeah.
I agree with Quicksand. I like that choice. I do.
Bad Brains, Chroma, Quicksand, and one more. Because they're great guys and a great band, and I love them, and they're definitely. I'd sick of it all.
Sick of it all.
Yeah.
Man, that's an interesting.
But when you say hardcore, I think of bands like Token Entry. I think of bands like Slapstick. I think of bands like Bold. Mm-hmm. You don't even know these bands.
I do not know Bold.
See, no. That's like the real deal shit. I don't know anything right now today. You do. That's for you, man.
I go back and I throw myself into the deep end and I listen to the old school stuff, and I admit I still am learning about the old school stuff because
that's cool though. We never stop learning though.
No, you're not supposed to, and that's
not.
That's
you
the
stop
thing.
Learning, you're dead.
Exactly. It's no damn point.
I'm so willing. You got newer hardcore band that you want to turn me on to, turn me on. I'm not opposed, and I'm not closed off. Of course not.
I
love all genres, man.
I know. I see that.
But what I do. What I will say adamantly, and what I believe adamantly, is that people have a tendency to mislabel stuff. Yes. People have been calling Life of Agony a hardcore metal band their whole lives, but we're neither.
And see you guys as metal.
We're not metal. We're not hardcore. We don't fit in anywhere. We never did.
Yeah, but that was the whole point, to have your own unique sound.
Right. Then ask why is every publication or wannabe journalist or this or that writer lumping us up into some soulless category.
No, I definitely see where you're coming from with that.
That's been a big problem, even with promoters and future shows.
Other genres have had that same issue too. There's just people just want to keep it. If it's metal, just say metal. Don't just break it down to all these millions of other categories and stuff like that, and then you mislabel it, or that's what sparks the whole debate.
Like at this point, it shouldn't be the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It should be the Music Hall of Fame already.
Yeah, considering the fact that
love Tupac, but dude, love Biggie. Love Snoop. Love this one. Love that one. Love Janet Jackson. Love the Bad Brains, But even the Bad Brains, not rock and roll. Rock and roll's the Stones. Roy Orbison. This one. If you want to stick to the real definition of the genre, just call it the Music Hall of Fame by now. Because I can pick a million bands that need to be in there right now.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
Radiohead to Rage Against the Machine to Run DMC to Public Enemy to fucking so many other bands, you know.
And it's to that point now where I see a lot of the complaints just and the anger boiling over, you know, and just people bickering about what music should be considered rock and roll for the Hall of Fame. And you're absolutely right about that. It should just be music. It should just be that flat, keep it
I saw a
equal.
couple of Twitter friends posting about Janet Jackson, and then they got attacked on Twitter because, of course, they immediately reduced it to race and, you know, all that stuff. And yeah, if you know your music history, Moroccans and all different kind of white men did not bring rock and roll to America. It wasn't even rock and roll, wasn't even the blues before the blues came to America. You know, you could call it some kind of Moroccan kind of blues because blues came from Morocco. And it dates way, 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 way back. We're talking hundreds of years, man. So everything is just fucking mislabeled, man. So it's like...
You know, I love the fact that you're giving me one hell of a history lesson right now. And
check out that. There was a great documentary. I forget what it was called, but it's like a 2.5-hour documentary with Robert Plant. Okay. And it's something, I think, Robert Plant and the blues, and him and all the branches of people that have worked with Plant and on his solo records and all this stuff, they get into the history of the blues, and that's where I really got a wake-up call of whoa, you know. That's why Plant is always going to Morocco, and he's always going to Afghanistan and all these different kind of places where blues originated. Wasn't the blues, though, you know. Mm-hmm. Generations like to rename stuff, like how Beautiful turned into Bay and all this shit.
Yeah, no, that drives me nuts. And all the classic facts are now being turned around and, you know, mislabeled, and it's just because the times are changing. It's like, no, facts are facts. They're always going to stay that way. I mean, that's it, no matter what.
It depends. You know, it depends what we're talking about.
Of course.
Because some things have been a fact and has been a lie for hundreds of years. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, wow. I honestly have thoroughly enjoyed this interview with you, Mina.
Are you getting rid of me already?
I am not getting.
I am 2-hour traffic.
I am not getting rid of you. You still got half that goddamn coffee. We're gonna see until you're finished there. Okay. There's one more question, but I'm just saying, I have to. I am very very happy to sit here and speak with you.
Thank you. I'm honored that you asked me to be on your show. Thank you.
It's been 7 years. You know,
I
wanted to do this. You know. Bloodlines. Yes. That's
Don't you love that I show up? I don't even know what I'm showing up to. Yes. That's me, though. That's me. Where you playing tonight? I don't know.
Look it up on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook.
No, I mean the schedule. Look at the schedule.
Yeah.
That I know you're.
I deleted my personal account 2.5 years ago. I hate that place. My music page is up there, but my friend runs it. My friend Maya.
Well, the last one, we're just going to keep real short and sweet. How do you feel about artistic expression, which has been outwardly censored in the last couple of years by our government?
My whole life is an artistic expression, and I don't give a fuck what the government does or anyone or whoever try. They're never gonna try. They're never gonna censor the you know, how a human being needs to ultimately
the human spirit,
how it needs to express itself.
I would say that's the mic drop and the end of the interview, but I kind of need that microphone.
Every thought that's spoken or not spoken is an expression, whether people hear it or not. It's being echoed through eternity. So, government is. It's just another bought and sold group of people that just basically, you know, they don't care about the well-being or the the global well-being of humanity or this species.
No.
They're just as bad as avian. They're just there is no more government. The corporations ate them up a long time ago.
Yeah, they did.
There is no government. Corporations are eating up everyone and everything. All these politicians, they're all bought and sold by corporations, politicians. Is just the whole game or topic or ideology of politics is just a facade, just a bunch of bullshit. They do nothing for humanity.
No, they don't.
Except
I agree with that
derail
one.
us
Yeah.
further and further from ourselves and from each other and from what's real and just. My whole life is an artistic expression, whether I'm cooking my chicken for my dog, or I'm baking a vegetable lasagna, or I'm, painting my toenails, or I'm, making love. It's all artistic, and it's all an expression. And, creativity is beyond painting, sculpting, writing novels, writing poetry.
Any other artistic category.
Finger painting, toe painting. This conversation has been very creative. We are molding and shaping the here and now present moment as we speak, and we're allowing this to grow in a very positive direction.
Agreed.
People don't realize how delicate the word and thought and the feeling behind the words and thoughts, or the intention behind our words, thoughts, and feelings are.
Yeah.
This is an act of creation. You need to be really, really delicate to really understand. It's like water. If you tell a cup of water really bad things, that it's a disgusting cup of water and it's poison and this is not a good glass of water, and and you give it that energy and you put that energy into your body, that's going to affect you to some degree vibrationally.
Yeah, it's you're projecting negativity onto something, and you're just bringing it right back to yourself.
Exactly. So that's how delicate the feeling is behind the word. So creation, even destruction, is creation. Creation is always happening. The creative and the creating is always happening. Even in the act of destroying, we're really creating. There is no death. It's all about birth and rebirth.
Reincarnation.
Another institutionalized, fear-based thought to keep consumerism going.
Yeah.
The fakeness of death. The body dies, but
the spirit doesn't.
The energy, the frequency, and the vibration will just go somewhere else and into something else to be expressed. This energy that allows us, this energy that I'm just chose this being, this face, this body, this experience, this trip around. But maybe I'll come in again as another transsexual. Maybe my next life I'll come in as a genetic female. Maybe I'll come in as an intersexed person.
You never know what will happen.
Maybe I'll come in as a fucking mermaid, which are real too.
Mina, thank you so much for sitting down with us. It was an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is by far one of my favorite interviews I've had. And not to downplay the other ones, but this one was just absolutely phenomenal. I am going away with this Christmas gift. Thank you.
Remember, can't get wet by the word
Water.
water. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays. Thank you. Thank you. For Miss Hiding.
Yes, for myself and for Marissa, who should have been in front today, but decided to stay back there to
And
do
let me
the
just
camera
say, right,
duties.
the Agonies, we're already set. We're already writing a new record. We're already set for a June release for another new album. So
Yes, that's Christmas right there, ladies and gentlemen.
So we're excited about that. And yeah, man. Thank you.
Of course.
Can't wait.
And thank you. And we will see all of you next time here at Duff's.
Now I could go get my proper fucking cappuccino.
Well, I'm lost